sky. Well, you cry out and you don't know why. Come on now, let your feet fly. Come on now, let's go for a ride. Come on now, let your feet fly. Oh, let it fly. Come on, come on.
We're live. Hey everybody, welcome to Republic of East Vancouver Barber Shop, and it's live December 2024. Izzy Dakota Jones.
I'm Ash, and we got Bernie on the couch.
Yes, we have Bernie, and Bernie makes toys. It's Christmas time. Guess what? Perfect time. We got to talk about toys, man. I mean, let's get down to it.
But look at the these are not. You can't go to Toys R Us and buy these toys.
No. This is the best kind of toy. This is these are unique toys, right? That's what I would say.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, I make these out of other toys and action figures and toy parts. I'm creating original characters out of existing pieces. So
And such.
and such. You
Yeah.
know, and you collect stuff. You get an eye for something, and you hoard it for a while, and then you find another part that works, and kind of build it up that way.
Right on.
Yeah.
So when did you first get started, like doing this? What inspired you, Bernie?
Well, I was really fascinated with toys when I was a kid, being an only child until I was about 11, and I was had a lot of time, and my parents bought me a lot of toys. But I got into wanting them to be different and wanting to customize them, and so I would,
Like from when you're little.
yeah, so I would they'd be like, don't make, and then you'd be a kid and you'd wreck your toy trying to make it better.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be like, well, don't try to do that, And so when I grew up, I went, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be my, it won't be my dad's money, it'll be my own money,
Yeah.
wreck my own toys and make my own toys. So
That's fun. Because I when I was a kid, I wrecked all my toys.
yeah, when you do when you get over the play value or during the play value of it, your life with that relationship with the toy, you end up trashing it.
I used to do that. It was weird. We used to do the weirdest things. We used to take like little plastic toy army man, right?
Yeah.
A toy tank. And then don't do this at home, okay? I'm serious. You don't want to do this.
Bernie's a professional.
And what we did was we used to take bottles of bleach, empty bottles of bleach, light them on fire, and then the wax would drop from the bottles and land on the soldiers, and the soldiers would catch on fire.
Oh,
It was so cool because when the thing falls, it would go.
Nerd bags.
Yeah.
That was called nerd bags, but it was that some punk rockers told us about that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, oh wait, I used to melt stuff, or I used to cut up my toys. Oh yeah, did you do nerd bags? It's like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
So get a plastic bottle or tie up a garbage bag and light it, and when it drops, it goes whoop, and when it hits the water, then drop it in water, it makes a sound, and that was nerd bags, right?
Yeah.
So there you
Wild.
go, and kids do that. We've never talked about this before,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So this is independent. We didn't grow up in the same town. Joe
No,
and I.
no.
And so kids melt stuff, and they melt their toys, and that's part of the fun. If you're
Yeah.
lucky and you don't get an explosion or
You don't hurt yourself. Yeah. So how do you get to the themes of your toys? So look at the themes here, right?
Well, some of it is, like this guy, for instance, here, Captain Batcrotch, undead robot spaceman. You got your basic science fiction kind of golden age and 60s, maybe silver age kind of a sci-fi character.
Yeah.
But he's made out of like lightsaber parts and a picnic wine goblet and a Halloween skull and.
Wow.
And so he was based around the skull, and then finding the helmet. I wanted to build a figure that way, right?
Right on.
From the parts that I had. Oh, this guy's gonna make a cool robot or a monster, and part after part comes together until you make it. And I carried parts around for this guy for years. Like he was in a suitcase for 10 years.
Wow.
Before he finally stood up and I could build on him and figure out what to do. And over here, Lord Metalfished was the theme was given in an online toy show hosted by an artist in Toronto called Lab Monkey Number 9.
What up, Lab Monkey Number 9?
And he does a Halloween show. He's done a couple. D is for Dracula, F is for Frankenstein. So if you sign on to do the show, you're buying into the theme. You know? I made C is for creature from the Black Lagoon, and he in his invitation he extended it to sea creatures. You know, you don't have to make a creature from the Black Lagoon, but it's a Halloween and a horror themed show, and go ahead. And so this character I made out of, I had been collecting these fish for a long time. I got one, and I'm like, it's gonna go on a head or an arm, and I found another one, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna have some kind of 2 creatures or some spectacular thing. And then when the theme for the show came up, I'm like, I got a bag. I know I do, right? And I made these claws at home, experimenting with making my own monster parts instead of trying to hunt them all the time or look for a toy that has a part that I want to steal.
Right.
So I had these, I put them together, and and this is one. This is a Ben 10 action figure. I keep forgetting the name of him, but he's like an insect kind of a guy.
Right.
And all I did was cut his hands off and his head and give him a paint job, and all these other parts just kind of fit on.
Wow.
And it's a coincidence of this very well-made toy that I could get outrageous, and I could have these big outriggers on it, and wave him around. And ostensibly, he's not gonna, he's already built well enough to to not to fall down.
That's pretty cool.
So you get a little play time with it, and mess around.
I was talking to a dude at the Princeton who said he was the guy who showed you how to. What did he say?
Gideon Hay.
He's the guy.
Yeah. Gideon is a local sculptor. He does a lot of work for film and television. And he teaches sculpting and molding and casting. And it was during COVID, during restrictions, where we made a bubble, and I hired him to come over to my house.
Oh, he was in your bubble, right.
Yeah, and so for a good number of months, initially he was coming over on the weekend, and we were he was showing me what we were deciding what to do. Do you know how to make a mold of this? Can you show me to make a mold of this? My toy collection, and pitched my ideas, and we spent a lot of time together. He's a great teacher and a great sculptor and a really good artist. And
a good guy.
He's a good pal, and another wonderful fellow in our neighborhood, and just so nice to be able to work with a friend and learn.
Yeah.
And that got me going. I'm still using the same molds and a lot of the techniques that he showed me, and I've learned to do a little more. Studied from some stuff on YouTube and things.
That's dope. He's been in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Good guy. I mean, neighborhood guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. And he sings wicked metal karaoke, right? Thursday nights down at Princeton. He'll be there belting out Priest and you name it.
He'll be living after midnight. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rocking till the dawn.
Yeah. That's money for you guys.
It's one fake name.
Should I let him in?
Yeah, you totally should let him in.
Who's that?
That's James.
Hang on, folks. We're live, but we've got another guest coming.
We'll just drag him in.
Yeah, drag him in. This will be very exciting.
Come on, we'll just drag him in.
Hey, buddy.
Here, you can have my
talking
chair.
about toys, and we were just sitting here talking about toys, and another toy artist happens to walk by.
Sit down.
There you go.
There's lots of space.
And his name again is?
This is James.
James, everybody. This is James. Wave to everybody.
I'm on Instagram at Mr. Von Fake Name. He's a fellow toy artist and was here in support and showed some of his stuff when I showed here.
Cool.
Yeah.
And brought in an alien like.
Yeah.
Are you
What
Jamie?
do we call him? Dr. something?
He had him out in the car for quite some time.
Those are wonderful things.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So now we got two.
We got two guests, folks.
Two for the price of nothing.
Look at that.
Where did you come? You just come in to crash the podcast, or did you get attacked?
No, I just hit the corner and I'm like, I poked on that Instagram and there you were.
Oh. I know that guy. Awesome.
And there we are.
How about this guy, Bernie? Let's talk about this crazy looking thing.
Okay, this is from another toy show. This is a toy show that was put together by Cave Dweller Toys and Kajiki Toys. I believe that Kajiki is is the originator of the online toy show, or one of them. But anyways, there was a joke last year after a toy show, after a successful toy show, where everybody had a lot of fun and there was a lot of, a big after party. Somebody started talking about Shrek.
Okay.
We're doing a Shrek show. And everyone's like, yeah, right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And the other guys are like, I'm in. And it happened, and it went off. And this is my piece from the Shrek show, which you can see here. I've got a, it's Shrek Mecha Shrekasaurus. It's got some boots on there, and it's got a little.
Gotta love it.
I had some. I was enjoying some Halloween candies. They were a skull with a brain.
Yeah, skull with the brain. You put that on there?
Yeah, so I made a mold of that. And I put
That's
that
so
on
cool.
there. And having a little fun with that. And then we have Donkey Zero, which is a donkey head on my Phantom Zero body.
Oh, I thought it was a Don Quixote fucking rip.
Don Quixote, no, it's Shrek. Yeah, but that's a good one.
Shrek, though. Shrek, yeah.
Maybe there's a Shrek movie where they bring that character in. I don't know.
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote is he a Disney property? I don't know.
Well, I think Shrek is for sure.
Shrek.
Yeah.
So there's that guy, and then Phantom Zero is my first character, and he's this guy.
Holy smoke.
And
he's cool too.
Phantom Zero is a.
Here, let me show that one to everybody. He's rad.
Yeah.
Well, they're all pretty rad.
They're all pretty rad, huh?
Phantom Zero. Here's Tiger Corpse. They go together.
Obviously.
Tell.
What's wrong with me?
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So Phantom Zero, Phantasma Zero, is the first character in my Mexican bootleg knockoff toy line called the Lost Barbarians, and I'm making Masters of the Universe scale characters of my own design out of different toys. That's Tiger Corpse. Tiger Corpse is a curse that an evil entity will invoke upon any planet. It's an unending wave of human tiger zombies that attack to destroy, lusting for human blood and brains. And
Can I ask you, Bernie, how do you make this stuff up? You must do it. Your mind must be super creative, Bernie. I gotta give you credit, man.
Phantom Zero is right now the only guy that can stop it, right? So maybe it's a bit of a sales pitch. If you buy one of those, you better get one of these, because you're gonna be a lot
You're gonna need them.
Yeah,
You're gonna need them. Yeah, you need them both
to hold on to your brains.
Because you gotta both to get the proper mojo.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna have the good and the yin and the yang.
Yeah, yin and the yang happening. Yeah.
But these are the first two characters. I have two more that I'm going to bring out in the beginning of the new year, and then there's 4 more after that, and then I'm hoping that it'll just keep growing from there. And
Into a comic book and a movie.
yeah, comic book movie, Broadway show.
Yeah.
And throwing up in a wizard hat.
Yeah.
On ice.
Yeah.
That's kind of the dream.
Pierogies on ice.
That's right. And a little bit of a fun thing about this here, the last toy show, the Shrek show, is that I was able to finish a piece that was originally for my Lost Barbarians,
Yeah.
and I kind of hacked it into the Shrek theme. So this is something that'll be coming along, I'm hoping, in the new year, where I'm going to have vehicles and critters
Cool.
for these guys. So if
Probably jump the Snake River Canyon in that.
well, that would be that's another thing too. Like if I could get a gyro cycle,
Yeah, dude.
just painted my own colors.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Now, to me, I mean, I probably see the whole world through this lens, but all this stuff looks super punk rock to me. Like, there's a whole lot of punk rock sprinkled on this stuff.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the cool thing about the idea about punk rock. It was an idea that was going around when I was a teenager, and in the earlier days of it, even though I was kind of removed, I'm in like rural Manitoba, and I'm not really getting hip to it till like 1980, 79, 80. But the spirit of that was that you can go ahead and line up for a concert if you want to.
Sure.
You can go ahead and buy and do all the consumer. You can do all that if you want to, but you can also just go ahead and do stuff, right? You
Right,
can just
right,
go
right.
right ahead, straight ahead. And if you're a musician, you can grab a guitar, and it wasn't just about punk rock. It was art and music and culture, and
Yeah.
people were starting businesses, and so when it
Barbershops.
barbershops, punk rock barbershop.
There you go.
Here's one right here.
There you go.
And so that idea of punk rock is all over everything that I
Yeah,
do,
man.
because it informs that I'm just going to go ahead and learn it and come up with something and do it.
Figure out
and
your
put
own
it
thing.
forward.
Yeah.
Figure out your own thing and share it with people and I see it in toys. I certainly see it in James's toys. Well, James is not in the closet about being into punk and metal. If you check out at Mr. Von Fake Name, he'll be doing a live feed where he's in his toy shop making toys and
very
playing
cool.
riffs and testing out pedals. and
So,
stuff.
so what do you make? What kind of theme is your toys? Are they different? And what shape and form, James?
They're usually smaller. I
You're
usually do
smaller?
three-
You do
375.
smaller stuff? Yeah. Except for that big one you brought.
Yeah. Oh, that one was rad. I've been collecting them ever since now.
Yeah,
We got a little
Cool,
army
big,
of those
big.
to bash together.
yeah.
The dummy army. I love that. We got to work that up.
That's cool. So like you do online where you actually show what you're doing in your
Yeah, anything that I think is worth seeing.
Yeah.
I'll throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Good stuff. So how did you two guys meet up? Through the toys?
Yeah. I had in January of this year, I decided to go on Instagram.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I had the Phantom Zero character figured out, and I had a few of these other larger type characters finished, and I'm like, I've got something I can show. It's not all gonna be about in progress, and that's kind of what I was waiting for to join up, and ran across a Von Fake Name. I'm like, I've got to find out who this guy is. That's the best name.
Fake name
It's
you've
a cool
ever
name.
heard.
It's a cool name,
I've
yeah.
ever heard.
I
So
like it.
we're like maybe we're like liking each other's stuff a little bit or something, and then I saw a post for the last April's the April toy show at the PNE, and he said, come on down and see me. I'm going to be at this on his page. Right?
Okay,
He posted
cool.
on his page he was going to be at the Comic and
Oh,
Toy
cool,
Show.
cool,
So I'm like,
cool.
okay, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to give this guy Phantom Zero, and we're
Yeah.
going to toy guys, and there's another toy guy in within
Parameters of the
within
neighborhood, yeah,
firing range. So that was very exciting, and then
Yeah.
I went down and we did a trade, and both very excited to meet other toy artists.
How big's this scene of yours?
It's got to be big, from what I'm hearing. Anyway, it's out.
Geez, like
It's spread.
It's going, right?
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many guys in Vancouver? Or have we got the
well,
entire community
I
on
don't-
the couch right now?
I think that after us, you're gonna. Well, there's another guy named Rework Toys who does the card back thing,
Oh yeah, okay.
which is I don't know if he does that exclusively. All I've ever seen of his stuff is that. So you'll do like a copy of a character, your own version of a character. It looks like a toy in a store. It's got a card back and a plastic bubble on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is there's kind of a joke. It could be a political satire or making fun of something that happened. Some social satire, some celebrity stuff is good
And I
bait for that. For a
kind of
joke
assume
toy.
that making that card back in the bubble is part of the
Yeah.
part of what he's saying, right? Look
Yeah.
at this crazy toy
Mhm.
you can't play with.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's an art toy.
Yeah.
And I'm my stuff's a little bit different. It's an art toy in that it's all toys are art, and I'm an artist, but I'm essentially prototyping to try to make real toys.
Right.
So I love art toys. It's people are showing amazing things every day, and you're learning about what trends, different materials, different looks people are getting, and working with different characters. It's a lot of it is based around the idea of bootlegging,
Yeah, sure.
where you want to knock something off, or people want to do it, share the love of a popular character, and that translates to fans and collectors too. They make the same Star Wars guy, you know, which I would only need one myself, but there's other things I would have a million of. So
Travis Bickle.
you know,
Yeah.
As an example.
I'm sure you can get one.
I'm sure you probably can.
And yeah, I'm sure you could.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you get the whole taxi driver play set.
Right.
Harvey Keitel and Jody and everybody, and get the cab and
That'd be
Oh,
fun.
that's funny.
Little baby Scorsese in the back seat.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. So then if you see how it goes, like people get inspired. I mean, the next thing you know, you're looking at a toy that, like, what?
Mhm.
You know, I was excited about the Shrek show because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I personally am a fan. My kids watch Shrek. We watch it together when they were growing up. So I'm sentimental. I like the jokes. My
Yes,
sister likes it.
yes,
It's
yes,
acceptable
yes.
crossover for family stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that's fine. But people really went nuts for the Shrek thing and did a lot of really kooky stuff.
So that's really interesting that like we were saying, like when you the toy thing, it's got at the PE, like, do they have a lot of these different shows around the city every now and then for the local toy makers and stuff?
It's
Not enough.
Not enough. Okay,
Um,
which is even true in the music industry here, right?
We-
You know,
we
like
might have done- we
there's
might
just
have-
not enough going on creative.
I think we did.
Yeah,
the
there's a
first,
problem
I think we
with
did
that.
the first one
Huge.
here. I
That's
think
a
we did
good
the
point.
first one. I think we did the first toy maker show and sale in Vancouver. I think we did it here.
Right on,
Yeah,
right
I
here
don't
at the
think-
Republic, right on.
I
You're
mean,
in the barbershop.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
this is
dude.
the first one. I don't know any other artists. I'm not in like there could be some people who are making toys that aren't a part of what we're
You know what
James
I thought
and I
was,
are into on
you
the
know what
line. Like, I don't know, but
you know what I would thought was cool,
I
you
don't
guys,
see them.
is that there's, I don't know if you, we almost have heard about it, like this year, they started, I mean, at least I think, like maybe a second year, I don't know how many years, it hasn't been much. They start doing that art installation thing where they're going around to the different buildings where there's artists.
Oh yeah.
And they do tours through them, so people can go and buy, you know, or
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at people's
Oh,
art.
yeah, it's kind of like the brewery tour or whatever. You
Yeah,
get on
and
a bus
I-
or something and
yeah,
you
they-
go around and.
They started doing that in Vancouver. Like, they have a week of it, or a week or two of it, where
Interesting.
and it was very interesting because they showed it on the news, like, you know, them going into different people's studios and showing the people coming in and taking a look at some pretty wild and creative stuff. I was like, wow, some of this stuff is like amazing, right? Really good artists, right? And I just thought, you know, they got the same with you guys. They got to do more of this because then it shows the city has creativity in it. You know, like it seems to be stifling it. You know, like
Well,
you're
there's a
saying,
lot of
James
stuff.
is right. Not enough, right? That's
Yeah.
the perfect word. It's not like, you know.
There's a lot of makers and there's a lot of like crafty people coming up with wacky ideas.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of markets going on, and it's become a, you know, we're rich in culture that way. But whenever I attend one or look into it, I haven't yet seen a reflection of toy art.
Yeah.
You know, like you might see something like, I know some fellow artists and musicians who would sometimes will work with toys a little bit. It's like, oh well, we kind of hacked this around and made it look funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
like,
that
holy
tool
bananas,
video,
man, there's like-
something like that.
There's a whole world of toy art out there, you know. And if
Yeah.
there's anybody in Vancouver or nearby in British Columbia at all, hit us up. We're looking for more toy artists. Anybody who's interested, I would love to meet you if you're out there,
Yeah.
whoever you are.
But yeah, I just think that's great because when listening to what you guys are saying, you know, I just find it like this is really you use your imagination a lot. It's a very creative process, and it should be inspiring, like, to a lot of people, right? I'm serious. Not verbal diarrhea I'm flicking out here. I mean,
No, I-
and like it should be out there more. Because the city would be this city, whether I'm not pumping up the city, but the city just needs to be more like that. Like it used to be like when I grew up in the city in the early days in the music industry, like, you know, the city was small, but this was like a real small city, coastal city, but the music culture was really vibrant.
Yeah.
But within the city, and then it started blossoming until corporate people took it over, and then when the corporate people took it was just all for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it went out the door,
Well,
right?
that's an interesting. That's really interesting because, like, right now it seems like there is a kind of like we see where James and I are hanging out on Instagram with this global community of toy artists. It's pretty underground still.
Yeah, I
And
imagine
people are,
so.
like, people are doing it like
This is the
in that punk rock way where like, hey, you're doing that?
Yeah.
Hey man, what are you doing over there? It looks like I'm trying to figure this out, and I did this, and oh no way.
Yeah, it's really
Which
good.
is my introduction to culture. Was everybody was super welcome. There wasn't any gatekeeping, and there wasn't any kind of like tiered system. It was like, hey, get on stage if you're a band, or you make T-shirts, make us T-shirts. You know, very immediate. And what I'm seeing about with this community is people are sharing on that level.
So which makes it, so when you guys are saying that you're sharing with a lot of different people from all over, right? So that's kind of like the revolution already started, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like you're actually in the revolution right now.
Well,
This is this culture is now hot. You know what I mean? Like it's starting to boil, but you're getting the good ingredients right now because it's not fake at this point. Like you guys are saying, it's all real. Very cool.
It seems to be very popular in the States, in Australia, like in there's cities in America that have brick and mortar toy art stores.
Yeah.
And there's some in Australia, and there is I don't know if there's some in Europe, but there's artists in Scotland and England.
Yeah.
In the UK and people from Scandinavia, people from Finland, people from Brazil,
So it's everywhere.
Spain, all over the place.
That's
And I am seeing people's feeds talk about things like, people post on their story, come down to the action figure workshop I'm hosting, and then they've got a video and there's like 16 people sitting in the community center with knives and figures, like doing this thing, like it's a new thing.
Do you think it's like
being shared?
Like when we were kids?
It's fun to do. People get interested.
Vancouver bands would sound one way, Winnipeg bands sounded a different way.
Yeah.
Is it like that? Like Australia toys look this way, German toys look this way.
I
Like you could tell the difference between
That's
Black
interesting.
Flag and Bad Brains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
For sure. You'd be like Black Flag. Yeah, definitely.
Right, or Agnostic. Right, that whole New York
East,
hardcore
West,
thing,
yeah.
and then the LA thing, and they sounded super different, and they were the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious if just trying to hold on
Must
to
be
that
some
punk rock
difference.
thing,
Do you have a take on that, James? Because I'm not sure that I recognize it that way. I don't know if I'm.
I think the sauce is the same, but yeah, everyone puts their own flavor in there for sure.
I might
their own
like.
flavors. They're from their own country, right?
You think that from
culture.
From a glance at the toy community, one little slice of it is like I will use Spanglish and I will go on my reels and I'll talk through a tube like a ring announcer from I'll use a fake Mexican accent and use fake Mexican words and I've gotten people going like hitting me up in Spanish and I'm like, oh wait, I'm a white Anglo guy and I'm just doing bootleg stuff and they're like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, we get it. We get what you're doing, right?
East Band guy, full fake up.
Yeah. fake Mexican bootlegger. But then, you will look. That will get me to look down the Spanish and Mexican toy makers rabbit hole, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll see. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys that are making He-Man bootlegs with their own, kind of cheap and home, craft made like Mexican market style toys.
Yeah,
That's kind of what appeals to me, that punk rockness of it, where it definitely looks like somebody went ahead and made this thing.
Yeah.
And you could see that, and you'd be like, okay, that's great. But then there's a whole bunch of other artists from Spain and Mexico that are sitting behind their computers pumping out designs that they're going to 3D print and sculpt.
Oh,
and cast,
right.
So it's I can't peg it like does that look like that or this global exchange that's going on. I don't know if I'm catching any of the regional stuff just yet.
I didn't think about that.
It's
3D
interesting
printing.
you brought it up. The
That must
3D
be
printing is like most people under 30 who see my toys go, are you 3D printing that? And I'm like, no, I'm chopping
Big
it up.
lighter printing it.
No,
Yeah.
You know, yeah, basically, you know,
Yeah.
still melting it together with a hot safety pin.
But yeah, still interesting. I like it that way because you're being so much more creative, right? Like, I mean, like, look at these things. I mean,
We're
they're-
differently creative anyway.
oh man, they're really
An
different.
art,
It doesn't
a
sound- it
3D
looks like
artist, a 3D artist and 3D toy printer just bootlegged Phantom Zero a while back. And he made a little 3-inch version of this guy. Basically, you know, I don't even know if he has one. I don't know where you know, I can't remember. I was looking through my messages. Did I sell one to Deep Pruitt? So he shows up, he's like, you know, one day there's a post on our feeds and it's like, he's like, hey, I made one of these. But he does it with other people's toys too. Like someone
Right.
puts up a toy and they do a new vinyl toy, which is another trend in toys, and he'll be like, oh, I made you one. I made one. You know, so that's what he does. And
That's pretty dope, too.
Really, really inspiring.
Yeah, right.
A Spanish guy, Gorilla Ghost 666.
That's like somebody covering your
he made
songs,
yeah,
right?
he made the first guy that did it was Gorilla Ghost 666 from Elmira in Spain, and he's a tattooer and a bootleg toy artist. And he made one of these. I sent him. We did a trade, so I sent him a head because I knew he was a bootlegger. Right? Like, maybe a bootlegger. And he's like, said, can I? I would be so honored to bootleg your toy. I'm like, yes. So that's super cool. He did that, and Pruitt made one of those too.
Dude,
So you know,
right? Like,
so it's
that's pretty punk rock. I hope this guy rips me off.
Yeah.
That's wicked, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's fun too. And I have a James. I have a head that James made. He made like a Mr. Sparkaloo Homer Simpson head, and it fits on one of my guys. So I'm gonna. And in the trades I've done and buying other artists' toys, someone will ship me a little extra piece, and I'm like, oh, I can make that into a head for one.
Joe and I have talked about this before, and I think that as far in culture, for me anyway, I think probably for all four of us, I feel like when it's a matter of money or art, right?
Yeah.
And when it just goes like that, and
Yeah.
only art matters, and the money is taken out of the equation, and that's the real stuff. That's the pure stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like when you don't like,
there's so much stuff
or
that happens
are
when
you
you're
making
trying
a
to make.
fortune on it? I don't think so, right?
When you're trying to make money, when that's the goal, it's so hard to use that mind for art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
art and commerce, they don't have the
Because
same brain.
it just if you thinking
Yeah.
about, if I was thinking about, you know, these things would have to cost crazy money, and
Yeah,
you know, and I can sell them at a reasonable rate, and I have a good fortune in that people are interested in the characters. I was overwhelmed with sales here and at the comic and toy show. I was like, what? I just stuck my head out the door for the first time, and it was a pal fest. People were like, oh, Bernie's been talking about that toys forever. He's doing a thing. Let's go down there. So that explained this one. But then when we went to the PNE and people were buying stuff, I was like, I can't explain this at all.
Yeah, right.
Like,
That's
that's
not
knows me. They're not even asking. They're just like, oh, how much for this? What's the best price on that?
Isidore showing up.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
where did they have the show in the Forum? Was it
Yeah.
the Forum?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a pretty sized building. Was it got a lot of toy people and arts people?
Yeah, well, it's mainly
toy?
it's mainly comics and toys, and
Very cool.
and the toys that they'll be selling will be like vintage collectibles and newer action figures.
Yeah.
Oh, like old G.I.
That kind of
Joes and
stuff, old
like
G.I.
that.
Joes, and some new stuff once in a while. And like we were talking about that fellow Rework. I saw him at one. James has been a couple of times. I'm gonna go back. I think James is gonna go back in October, in April. And people coming by were like, I never saw art. Is this art toys? I've heard of those. Is that from Japan? I'm from Mexico. I have never seen anything like this since I moved away.
Wow.
These are the things I'm hearing, and I didn't know they would have art toys at this show.
Yeah.
So that made me want to come back. I'm like,
Well, of course,
let's
because
go back.
I think
and
that's
encourage,
great.
if I can meet any other artists,
Yeah.
you know, is there any other toy artists?
Yeah, and then there's those people like just off for a second. There's people you say the comic book guy. There's people actually making comic books too, right? People drawings doing the actual drawings. That's another art form right there.
They will have artists there, right? Like
That's what I
signing
mean, yeah.
autographs and stuff. So
Yeah,
there was,
interesting.
and there was some good cosplay, costume, costume
Yeah.
stuff. There was a Predator, a pretty good Predator, and there was a blow up Godzilla.
Wow.
I got him to scream at my toys. I took a picture of it. and just some kids going out in costumes I don't even know. I didn't recognize them. I didn't know knows that, you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like, look, people are. It's a thing to do, you know.
Yeah,
And so it's fun.
yeah,
And
that is really cool.
I felt that I wasn't sure what people were going to make of it because, you know, I'm not offering anything like a recognizable. Like that's not Spider-Man or
Yeah.
a comic of that. I don't.
Before we get too far, we should probably talk about pierogies.
Oh yeah, well sure.
I'm gonna go. Thanks for letting me steal your chair.
For sure, homie.
James, everybody,
Good to see you,
thanks, James.
Yay!
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah.
Take care, man.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm off the.
That
wait-
was cool.
I'm off the wait list.
That's
why I'm
here. Enjoy.
Okay, then. Have a
Later,
good day.
homies.
Right on.
Weightless. Have you guys seen Weightless?
What's that?
It's a new rock band in town.
Oh, are they good?
Yeah, female fronted. She's fierce.
What is it? What is it?
Wait. WAIT/less. Weightless. They're just fierce. They're so good.
Where are they playing at?
I don't remember where.
Huh.
I just knew I was doing something else tonight, so I was like, ah.
Are they in like what kind of band are they? Punk,
It's
rock,
like it's
rock?
yeah, it's punk, but it's like it's kind of it's a little. It's like aggressive kind of new wave, you know, like gangly bass and sparse guitar, but then they'll blast out chords. But the singer she's fierce and she's got a really gruff, growly voice, and she'll like stand on the crowd.
Yeah.
Just rah, and people are like, yeah. She's
That's
like
cool.
right in your face. You can go right up to her and scream right back at her.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. So I hadn't seen a band like that in a long time. I saw them a few times at Green Auto when they first started up.
Yeah.
And then James became a fan, and he's been going to the shows.
Cool. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
good times. That's fun. Good thing. Good thing he poked his little face in.
That was
Nice to
good.
see
That
him.
was good. That was nice to see him. So,
Let's talk about pierogies.
he wants to. I hear he makes great food.
He
Well-
makes mind-blowing pierogies.
Okay.
I've heard from a few people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's.
they're good.
Do I have my?
Run down the flavors for us, man.
Well.
So good.
If I see have
The
my
pizza pierogies.
pizza rogi.
Pizza roll.
It looks to me like I don't even have a business card.
That's
Or
okay.
any pierogies.
Just
Or any pierogies. Well, I've been having shoulder trouble, so I'm
Yeah.
behind on my season. I'm not going to be making pierogies until the weekend.
oh, you're okay. That's okay. But I love pierogies. Don't get me wrong.
This guy's pierogies.
Well, he comes from Winnipeg, right?
Yeah,
You
of
come from
course.
Manitoba.
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
That's
I
what-
learned
that's
that
one of the
it's a hot
places
spot. It's a hot
It's a hot spot
and,
for that,
and
yeah.
everybody makes pierogies to go to Disneyland in Manitoba.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, and it seems there's enough. Like, if everybody, the thing that always blew me away about living in Manitoba is like, if everybody's mom and cousins are making pierogies to take to somebody, then how do you, how does that even work?
It's just forever pierogies.
It's just constant pierogies, like all the time. It's like, well, don't you make pierogies? Yeah, but these are good.
What's that bacon one you make?
Okay, so flavors, Rogi Pogi Pierogi makes cheddar pinot,
Ooh, that one's good.
cheesy tater, kraut and bacon,
Oh, that's the one. Sauerkraut
rogi.
and bacon pierogi.
pizza rogi, dilly willy.
Oh,
Just a lot of
dill
dill
pickle.
butter and
Sweet.
dill, just dill weed, not dill pickle.
Dill weed, I meant.
Dill weed. It's dill, you dill weed. It's not dill pickle, dill weed.
Dill weed? Don't be a dill pickle. Dill weed.
But that's a lot of fun, and you can eat those, and you can hit me up for them at rogi.pogi on Instagram, or find my card or my T-shirt around the neighborhood. You can eat them at Jackalopes; they serve them there.
Okay.
And Andrea Gale down on Powell Street.
Yeah. Very
Have them
cool.
there, too.
And do eat them and order them, and they're great. And you've never had a pierogi like this. Promise. The bacon and sauerkraut pierogi, next level, man.
I've seen him eat them, so he's not.
So
I'm
not-
gonna
so
have
not
to.
fucking around
Now I'm
now.
going to go down to
This
the
is
Lope
in
and
the
have
show.
Not tonight, but I'm going to go.
Yeah, Bernie said we're on the list for pierogies.
Well, when I have a pop-up, you guys are on the list. Like when I'm cooking somewhere, I'll have some guests.
That's
There you
dope.
go.
Yeah,
There you
fun.
go. So you're making. What's your next plan with your toys too? What are you up to next?
Well, I'm trying to finish my year this week. I've got I finished all the shows I signed up for. I shipped out a commission piece this week, and I have 3 trades that are going out. and we've got this mail strike on right now. But I
Oh,
can,
I just figured it out. These trades, that's like tape trading.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Or
I'm like,
fanzine trading
do
or
you
all
want,
that, right?
do you want to trade? Yeah, I love your stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
What do you
dude,
give me
okay,
for this?
okay.
What do you
Very
give me
cool,
for that, right? So
Very interesting.
So I have three trades, multi-piece trades that are going. One's going to Glasgow, and one's going to Toronto, and one is going to the States.
So now, when you think about all the people who are doing this thing, I mean, I can't get it out of my head, but you, James, you guys are both pretty, I don't know what the correct term, alternative punk rock dudes, right?
Yeah.
Do you see that throughout the toy?
It's diverse, you know. Like sometimes you will run into a.
Because quite honestly, dude, when you think, oh, I know a guy who makes his own toys. Oh, do you? Right? You don't think it's going to be you who flops down. You know what I mean? Or James.
There are lots of rockers. Like there are some tattooers. There's a guy named Resin Blood, with 2 S's at Resin Blood, Resin, but 2 S's. I don't know how to share this stuff. Like I feel like I should be able to pull up my phone and tell everyone to go there, but I don't know how to do that. So this guy is a tattooer. He's a painter.
It took us about 15 minutes
Yeah.
to set up the cameras and telephones.
But I bet somebody's kid could probably go, oh, there, now you can just share it, and it would show on the screen by my head or something. Like,
Yeah,
oh
and
my
it'd be
God,
like
this is
Tom Cruise, just do it in the air.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get Veronica to do it.
Yeah,
Veronica and Jagger come in here and sort us.
But there are people who are like full, like Gorilla Ghost is full on. He's a tattooer, rocker, full on punk rock, guy.
Yeah.
You know, covered in tattoos. Resin Blood, same. Bunches of guys. Plagued Earth. And then there's lots of people who are
totally
just
punk rock too, man.
and there's some people who aren't punk rock at all.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Who are just making wild art. They're not even.
That was the thing.
Not
That
even
was the
interested
thing
in
in
this.
punk rock too. There's a lot of people who were not punk rock.
That's right.
Dan
that's
Shear,
right.
most punk rock guy, not punk rock.
Not punk rock at all. And when punk, punk has become a thing where essentially a lot of people are able to market it. So that it looks like this and it sounds like this.
Yeah,
and we teach it this way at the university.
That's what I was saying about or when you guys were talking, when Joe was saying earlier on, and the city was just packed full of music, and even that sweet spot between Expo and the Olympics, right? Like there's a lot of music, man.
Yeah,
and you could go out all the time, every night, Club Soda and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then all those ponytails from LA came.
Yeah. We started looking for the new band.
Looking for Mudhoney or whatever, and they don't live here, man.
And
that's what I mean.
And we don't want to sound like Mudhoney because Mudhoney sounds like Mudhoney.
Yeah,
and we want to
for
be
sure.
our own band.
And that's
we
kind of
can't,
I
we
think
can't give you any money.
where we were trying to get to with this is like, or what I think Joe was trying to get to is like this is probably just about to pop off like crazy.
Well,
or very well.
Obviously it is.
Right? Or it is, yeah.
I mean, there's a place, there's like a store and a online magazine in New York called Clutter, and they do like, Japan is one of the biggest toy manufacturers in the world, and Japan was making artistic toys. Like I lived here all my life. I lived in North America, and when I would get a Batman or Spider-Man toy, it was essentially a painted stick compared to the comic book or any TV show. The way it was when you were a kid, when I was a kid, was the comics are the real deal. TV shows are a pretty sucky version. The toys blow.
I was always.
And then I saw a Japanese toy. I knew about Astro Boy, and someone showed me Astro Boy, and I was like, this thing just walked right off the page into my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is how you do it. And I was like, I was probably 8 or 9 years old or younger when I decided that that's how you make a toy, not this, fake it.
Yeah, right.
And then sometime around Todd McFarlane getting popular, the game went up because he was in the same way. He's like, why are we doing these dumb things? Let's make crazy sculptures.
Yeah, make that crazy toy.
That was wild. Like I drew it. Come on, guys. So he's not the only guy, but he was a part of how that happened, and that tied in with the fans who were digging Japanese imports and European imports, and there's always been a hardcore hobbyist and collector love of toys, everywhere. But this whole thing where people are going like, hey, I'm going to try this. Hey, I'm going to buy the gear. And I'm going to make these things. I'm going to get into it. This is like, it's like a punk rock thing where everybody is giving a try at it. And everybody's like really supportive. Hey, look what you did. That's great. Oh, hey, because there's no way. It's awesome. Look at my first one. It totally sucked. That kind of thing, which is again my introduction to music. All the older punk rockers who'd be someone older was like 6 months older than you. They have 2 more shows than you.
Yeah, right.
And they're like older and experienced.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own apartment.
Yeah.
I'm still bumming the dad's car.
There's a lot of that crazy stuff happening for sure. It's like, we've talked about it over and over again, but like Lonnie's kids, hey guys, making movies, making music, just going crazy, man. Just whatever they want.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Yeah.
They're not making
I
toys.
like to see that.
But yeah, man, your kid seems pretty into that stuff too.
Well, yeah. Well, Veronica, she's got a little fashion page called Blister.
Very cool.
And she's
It's a good
doing
name.
pretty good. She makes stuff and she sells it. People like it.
Yeah, dude.
She went to fashion school for a while at the community college, and she's having a lot of fun with that kind of thing.
It's dope.
That's good.
And she's met other people who make stuff, and people love her stuff, and she's learning and
That's great. It's great creative, more using your creative side, right?
doing stuff with her hands.
Dude, when you came and put the show on and you had that table
Yeah.
and you built that thing, like, oh, that was wicked. Like, that was, I mean, all your stuff was dope, but her little setup.
The banner, I hadn't seen it yet.
That was
but
rad, right?
We plotted it out at home, and I gave her the material, and I didn't really know what it was going to look like, and then she ended up using them old curtains, and it's great.
Yeah, it was
It's
great.
cool.
That show was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Lots of fun. And just having something to do.
Yeah.
The same reason I'm in a band and I'm interested in that is because I like to sit around and watch Planet of the Apes or whatever, but only when that's what I want to do. Otherwise I want to be tired
Yeah.
from doing other things.
Yeah.
Let's haul some gear around. Let's make a big deal about going and being on stage for half an hour.
Who are you jamming with now?
I have a new band.
Who's in the band?
Fella named Alan Forrester is playing electric guitar. Alan Forrester is a local rocker. Years and years ago, we became friends when he was playing in a band called the Nasty On.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Alan's was the lead guitarist of that band, and in more recent years, he was playing lead guitar in Stork with Ben Frith on drums and what is Luke Meat? Luke from the Noise Show.
I don't know.
CITR. Luke is a DJ and a singer.
Cool. What do you play?
I'm playing acoustic guitar and singing. And
What's the name of this combo?
We're called the Hands of Bernie Joe Ray.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Sure.
I like that.
I was in a band with my friend Penny a few years ago, a guitar and drum duo called Invisible Ray. And then my middle name is Joe, my father's name, and her middle name was Joe, Penny Joe. And so I clapped onto that. And then after our band broke up, I figured, well, let's just do the rock and roll guy thing and keep my stage name. The last band I was in.
Yeah, dude.
So
I don't believe any of us use our real names. So
Yeah, I don't usually.
I don't either.
Yeah.
it's all right.
I had a friend.
Actually, we
I had
do
a
use
friend
our
of
own
mine.
names.
I had a friend of mine who I used to play was in a band, and we were playing the bar circuit for a while, and he would I noticed people going, hey man, you're a really good drummer and singer. What's your name? And my name is Jack, right? And he'd go, my name's Bill, right? And his name's Barry, right? And I'm going like, you're not Bill. What the fuck is going on here, right? You know, like, and he goes, what's your last name? Bill Ward. And I'm going like,
Sending people to bars and parties everywhere.
So I asked
Bill Ward.
I asked
that guy, man.
Oh, I know Bill Ward.
that's all.
Killer.
So
John Bonham.
yeah, so I'm seriously, he would do that every place we play. He'd go around, I am Bill Ward, right? And I just sit behind him going like this, shaking my head. And so one day I finally asked him, says, Barry, why Bill Ward? I mean, I know what Bill Ward's a great drummer, you like him and all that, but why are you calling yourself Bill Ward? He goes, because I don't want nobody knowing my real name in a bar. I don't want to talk to these people. I don't want them at my house. He says, this way, they don't have to know who I really am. You know?
And they're happy they had a good time meeting a musician.
Yeah.
Anybody?
And I just
one
went,
drummer
okay.
named Bill Ward. There's one famous one, but
So what introduced him now on stage is this Bill Ward.
you don't know this guy.
You playing any gigs?
Our first show was at November 1st at Green Auto. We have a record coming out. Our record is streaming now. It's called The Dead Ghost Witch and Other Nightmares.
Dead Ghost Witch and Other Nightmares. Where's that streaming?
Spotify, everywhere. We paid DistroKid $80 and we put it up on like 10 platforms.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
So it's on YouTube and on Apple Music and everything. So,
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Wicked.
And we're waiting, sitting at Clampdown, waiting for the stamper to come in so we can have some vinyl.
Bring some
working
real life.
working on some graphics and stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, and our Alan is going to have some wrist surgery. I think he's having some surgery on his wrist. So we're going to just regroup in the new year. And
Yeah.
play some shows.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that
You
would be
stream
good.
those shows?
Not yet. he's going to.
Not yet. But
Yeah,
we're gonna
you
have to
should.
get into something. We got to
You
put it all
should.
together. Like right now, our stuff's all over. We've got Instagram. We've got this, kind of disconnected streaming thing where we need a website. But I think once the record comes out and we play a few shows, we'll kind of gather our limbs together and
Start going. Yeah.
start going at it a little more. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were having a lot of fun playing together. So.
So
Where
we're
gave you
getting
these tattoos? Supercat?
Quite a few of them, quite well.
Janky Bangers, Rich, right here. Janky Bangers.
I don't have any from Supercat. My professional tattoos
From Janky's Garage.
from Janky were done at I forget the place on Granville, and then when he was working at he did a little stint at Black Rider, and so I have a piece from there and some stuff on my legs from when he was working on Granville Street.
None of those Black Rider guys have gone over to Supercat, eh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. I know, it's wicked.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're just going back and forth. But that's what the tattoo guys
Yeah, I
do.
think so.
Well,
They
those
do-
guys
they
don't.
do-
They're not having a great time renting there, I guess, or running that shop. So they're gonna
Something like that.
They're gonna.
Those boys are moving in with Campitelli anyway.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
They'll sleep over.
Well, they all do that. They all do that
Yeah.
stuff.
They were
Tammy's guy, like more guys I've met in the tattoo industry, they like to get around, right?
You gotta know, man.
They spend like 4 or 5 months at one place and
Yeah.
then move on for
Yeah,
a year over here. My guy Jamie, and does it, and Anderson Jamie, he's been, at the Dutchman for 3 years, and then he moved on to his own
Yeah.
place, and then he moved out of his own place, went work with some friends, and went back to his own place.
Yeah.
Like they all get around, right?
It's art too, so you're
Yeah.
moving around, you're sharing culture, you're inspiring people. Other artists are like, well, that's how you do that.
Yeah. That's
And,
cool.
but I have so much janky from the shed.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm covering out of any artist, I have them. And I'm more of a scratcher guy than a shop guy.
Sure.
I want to walk in with my janky idea, and I don't want anybody telling me, I
Yeah.
can't put my, gee whiz, don't tell anyone I made that on you. I just want somebody who likes doing tattoos and likes to have a happy
dude.
customer, because I'm wearing it, So when we get into the whole I am the canvas thing, I'm out of the tattoo. I'm kind of out. I'm like, whoa, that's not the way I receive my tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm not your canvas. You're working for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe some tattooers might, in the modern sense, maybe I'm kind of being a bit of a stick in the mud about it. I don't know.
No,
I'm not the guy that's looking for a tattoo. I find the image,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, that has to reside here in relation to my other tattoos. And so it's hard. I couldn't go into a shop and go, give me your most popular picture.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
it's going the other way. I'm like, this is from Planet of the Apes, and
Yeah,
make
so-
it green.
Yeah. Stuff that Mike does.
Why not?
Stuff Mike does is so next level anyway.
Oh yeah, his designs. He really worked
He is-
hard to stylize and
Yeah.
come up with his way of drawing
Wicked.
those things. And
You see guys copying his vibe now too, eh?
oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why
He's
when
really
I
popular.
that's why I gotta go to Jamie. Jamie doesn't do anything like he puts his own spin on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when I just got the crow down here,
Yeah.
the crow doesn't look like it did on the picture.
Yeah, of course.
And he did that on purpose. So
Yeah,
he made it look. He did it with like he would be putting like brushwork. He said,
Yeah.
so I would do it like brushwork
Cool.
because that way it won't kill you at the same time.
There's another thing. Last time I got a tattoo, I was, kicked my ass for a week. So I'm like, maybe I've aged
They hurt a
out.
lot more now.
Maybe I've aged out. The last tattoo I got was a little, a scratcher at home by our drummer and keyboard player Nick. We had a few beers and at my apartment. We went up to his apartment and he's like, let's do tattoos. Rode through my place for a cup, something that would be a teacup. So we went upstairs drunk and he did this pic. I drew these, I'll draw some tattoos. And he's like, oh, I want this ghost. And I'm like, I want this hand. And so this is about like maybe a year ago. And I got this little freaking, this thing here.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
And it just,
That's not bad,
it just
that's
hurt
pretty
so
good.
much. I was like, oh my
yeah.
God. I was like, I'm corn. I'm 10 in. And I can feel everything. I think,
I know.
tattoos or maybe I've had,
Well, that's
maybe I've had
funny.
enough.
Maybe that's like this one really hurt a lot, and I did one of the ribs,
Yeah.
and that really hurt.
I don't have any there.
You know what?
Me
it
neither,
took-
purposely.
These guys.
Yeah, I know,
are
but
tough.
that really, I did on my feet too. Now my feet I thought would really kill me, and it didn't. It just irritated me. It just irritated me, right? It was like, come on, Jamie, get it done because this is fucking. I'm gonna punch you out.
It's driving me nuts
It's
here.
driving me nuts here. But like this really hurt. In fact, and that really hurt. And I mean, I was talking to Eric at the Black there, and he goes, Joe, you're getting older. You're gonna be able to put up with here and here. He says, I'm not going to do you here and here. And he goes, I won't do it. He goes, you're going to go back to Jamie, right? I says, most likely, yeah. He says, yeah. He says, you're getting older and it's going to fucking hurt. And I saw him a few weeks after I did. He says, how are you? I go, fuck, it hurts. He goes, I got one word for you. You're nuts. You're nuts. I says, yeah. I says, I don't like the pain, but I like the after effect.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. Like, and I remember like the tattoo being kind of like, you're like, I've never felt this much pain before, but I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay. I bought it.
Yeah.
If I don't see the blood, it looks like it's cutting to it feels like I'm getting my legs sawn off or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get these spikes and
Yeah.
when I was getting that little guy,
Yeah.
it was just right at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Way. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm glad I picked a small one.
This freaked me out. I had to take breaks, and then Jamie kept looking at me and going, stop taking breaks. I go, what do you mean? Because what happens, the blood rushes back in and
it starts again.
It starts again. Joe, let's just get through it, right? And I would take it for like 10 minutes. I go, stop. Then again, another 10 minutes.
Yeah, your endorphins go down and
Yeah, so it was one of those. And then I walked out of there and I was like, I was high for the rest of the day, because I was just like, wow, fuck, that killed me.
It's not a cheap high either.
Yeah.
No, it's not a cheap high, and it's a high that you like. He's saying, like, I don't know. I don't know if it is. I'm getting older. I don't know if I need to do this anymore.
Yeah, exactly. How high do I,
I think that every time, and then I
this
just
is okay.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Yeah, you're addicted. We're addicted to it.
I know.
You're addicted to body art. That's how it's
You got all
like.
this empty space, right? You gotta.
Yeah, you got to fill it
And
up.
I
somehow.
have some friends who are absolutely covered and they're showing me new tattoos, and I'm like, where did you fit that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get it on top of something?
Yeah, my homies.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what my homies do, and he's
Exactly,
going
yeah.
for the second level, the second, like blast overs of everything.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
How about those guys that do
He
that?
loves
How about the guys in
Yeah.
in LA where they knock you out and they do your whole body
Yeah, wild.
in one day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're in, you have to stay in the
Yeah.
hospital for like a day because they
Yeah.
have to like make sure.
Well, you're
You're
just
gonna be okay.
you're
You're trauma, so
all
you gotta
scar
manage that,
tissue,
right?
man.
Yeah, they've got to like make sure you're gonna be okay, but like they do the whole body like those sports guys, like football
Yeah,
players,
yeah.
right? Because they can afford it,
Yeah.
and they do the whole fucking body, the whole thing, head to toe, and then they walk out about 5 days later, and like, but who would want to do
I
that?
don't know. I don't get it. I like when
Yeah.
when I was getting tattoos. I wore a couple of tattoos for a really, really long time, and then started collecting in my 40s. My first one was 18, and then another one later. I had like 2 tattoos for 20 years, and then I started getting into it more
Yeah.
and enjoying it. And I would be getting a few tattoos, and I would be meeting people who just come out of the shop with a sleeve
Yeah.
or a half a leg done or whatever, and they're like, we're still unfinished. And I'm like, and you,
Part of
my
me thinks-
20-year-old friend, are
Yeah.
completely finished.
You're done.
You can't get any more tattoos.
Yeah, you can't plan them out
All you
anymore, can't
got
look forward
is
to
a
them.
nice. You got a koi fish. That's all. That's it.
Yeah.
And in talking to, you know, and well, that's all I wanted. Okay, well that's fine too.
That's
But
fine
when
too.
I look at a
Yeah,
tattoo,
you're
I'm
funny.
looking at it as it's some notes to myself and
Yes.
things about my community and
Sure.
you know, it's a story. Stories about things that happened. Why did I? What was going on in my life when I got this tattoo? Why
Yeah.
did I choose that? Was it, you know? And some of them you're like, it is no event. It became an event because I was so vain. I wanted this horrible picture on me, and it turned into a freaking fable, you know.
You know, I started only like, I only started like 10 years ago.
Oh,
So what
really?
I did, what I did is when we went for our first tour down to the States and we're going to this music conference with our manager in LA, I thought, you know what? My guitar player's got tattoos. I got none. I need to do something.
Yeah.
So I went to Jamie up on First Avenue and said, hey, I says, would you tattoo me? And he goes, yeah. And I says, I went down the street down here and he's found this one guy, old guy, right? Been around there since the late 50s, this guy. An old biker guy, right? I forget his name. And I walked in.
Thomas Lockhart?
Yeah, walked in. He wouldn't tattoo me.
He's a prick though too.
He was a prick.
Oh, I know.
And he says to me, he goes, no, I won't tattoo you. And I go, why? He says, how old are you? I says, I'm blah, blah, blah. He goes, why this long? I says, I don't know. I didn't decide to do it till now. How's that? He goes, not a good enough answer. He says, I'm not going to tattoo you, man. Because he says, you wasted too much time in your life. You don't have a story to tell now. And I looked at the guy.
Oh, fuck you very much, my friend.
So I went to Jamie, and Jamie says, yeah, I'll be the first guy to tattoo.
Yeah,
So
why can't we start writing a story?
So we did a dragon, and we did this dragon down there. I never forget. I go home, and
But you could like there's certain old.
So then
That's
my-
an old school way of thinking because you could go into a mechanic
yeah,
who will give you that.
yeah,
There's a certain age, a certain period of time where a man with a trade would decide for you.
yeah,
You know, he's like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, like when we were kids.
No, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want
barbershop.
you want
Even
this.
when we were younger or whatever, go to the barbershop on the corner, and you know Joe, you can say whatever you want, and then he'll give you his haircut.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
okay,
what
sure.
it's
Yeah,
all-
okay, flappy top. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah,
Your dad is pink, so I do what he says.
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you get exactly the haircut that the guy before you got and the guy after you
Oh,
got
I know.
for the next 20 years.
Oh, I know.
Is
yeah.
that called a haircut? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, no, it's funny like that, right? And then I did it, and then like after that, I never forget the funny story about that is, I picked up my kid and we're going somewhere, and they said, okay, we'll go over to see Grandma, right, for a bit. Went over and he looks at my arm, he goes, Grandma is not gonna like Dad that you got a tattoo, right? And I says, I'm fucking 40 years old. I give a shit what my mother thinks. So walk in the door, my mom goes, my kid turns around and goes, I told you so. Look at she looks really pissed off, right? And then she goes out, she says out right in front of him. So Josh, what do you think of your dad's tattoo?
You should have got a temp tat on Josh. That's what you should have done. Oh, look at his. You don't like mine. What do you think of his, Mom? Like, oh.
That's good.
Mom has a jammer right there.
Yes, I think she did. She was really mad for a while, and I just looked at her. She goes, "You're gonna." And then my kid goes, "Don't worry, Mom. He's gonna get more, Grandma. Don't worry, he's getting more. I see it coming." And then one day he looks at me, and he goes, "Fuck, they're just everywhere now, Dad." I says, "Yeah, and what's your point?"
That's funny stuff.
So you got toys. You got shows coming up this summer. We get back to that for a minute before we leave.
I'm going to be going to I wanted to, I don't know when, but we want to come back here this year.
Oh,
It was so
good.
fun. to be in
Anytime,
this
dude.
space. So
Anytime.
my goal is to find more. My brain is telling me to stay out of the markets and do raw culture space stuff for toys.
Yeah,
because
dude.
it's new and I don't want to, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's sort of my interest in it is bringing it out. Like I wouldn't be opposed to trying to market. There is the first online show I'm in is called I forget the name of it. I signed up for it last month. It's gonna be like robots and graffiti themed
cool.
show in March, and there's one that just got announced in February, and I'm kind of sitting on the fence about, but we'll probably join in on that.
Good.
So more stuff and I'm working on new characters and I'm working on my displays for public stuff. I want to get
Good.
and I want to get a piece together where I can show the community that I'm involved in. So I want to have some flashcards or some posters at least where you can have it carry away and get an idea of
what homie's doing in Japan.
Yeah.
What he's doing in Spain.
You know, I'm not the only weirdo sitting around making funny G.I. Joes.
Toys. Records coming out.
Yeah.
And streaming everywhere. And what's the name of that record?
The Dead Ghost Witch and Other Nightmares by the hands of Bernie Joe Ray.
There you go.
So start streaming that. And the pierogies are available next weekend.
Pierogies next weekend, yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Peace out, everybody. Bernie, everybody.
Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Bernie. We'll have you again
guys.
sometime.
This was fun.
You should come to the Princeton on Saturday. Joe's band's playing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
come on,
good, man.
Yeah.